We're the KNC Masterpiece right here on 105.3 The Fan, live from Globe Life Field with the return of Mike Bacsik.
Oh, my gosh. I'm back.
For now.
Okay.
Mike, I hate to ask the question like this, but I'm going to do it nonetheless. Do the Rangers, how much do the Rangers need to win today if they're going to finish at 500?
I think it's going to be tough to win a game in Cleveland.
Because Cleveland is going insane right now.
They're rocking. That place is going to be insane. It's going to feel like late 90s, early 2000s there. The Rangers, at this point, I want to make this clear as day. Injuries had very little to do with the lack of success for the Texas Rangers this year.
Oh, fascinating.
That is interesting.
It was the offense.
Yeah.
They had enough. Guess what? Every year, guys are going to get hurt. The Astros played without Yordan Alvarez for almost the whole year.
Yeah.
I mean, they had other injuries
that
happened
ton
too.
Of injuries, yeah.
They still are going to win way more games than you win.
Yeah.
So I do not want to make that an excuse. But at this point, what you're taking to Cleveland, no Langford, no Carter, no Semien, no Seager. Adolis is compromised right now. DeGrom's not pitching in the series. Obviously, Evaldi's out. You start looking at that and going, so you're going to a team that is going to make one of the most historical comebacks in Major League history.
It is it looks like it is going to be the most historic.
I think winning a game in Cleveland is going to be very tough. So winning today against Minnesota, a team that is, half of their team is kind of the St. Paul Saints,
right?
Is very important if for the second time in 9 years you want to finish 500 or better.
Okay, and so you just kind of touched on that. I want to ask both of you guys, do you see an important distinction between 80 and 82 and 81 and 81?
A little bit, but not a lot.
I don't.
Okay.
For me, it's the season ended without playoffs. That was the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
The ultimate goal is always the championship, but playoffs is where it starts, and you didn't get there. So I don't see a real distinction if you're not in it. Now I do see a distinction between 10 games. That tells me you're a far worse team than you actually are. This team wasn't awful. They were just missing this huge component of offense that they desperately needed and could never find, no matter what they brought in for it. And that's where I was going to go with Mike on this.
Yeah.
Until they brought in these young players who were like, I have something to prove, and I wonder if they proved enough to get themselves a spot or a chance next year.
I think they can compete for a spot next year. What they did was they changed the energy of this team.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the dugout was more lively. All of a sudden...
Is that important?
Yeah.
Does that matter?
I think so.
Can you tell me why?
I can talk about being on the Mets in 02, and we had Piazza, Alomar, Mo Vaughn, Al Leiter, John Franco. I'm just giving some big names. A couple of them Hall of Famers. Mo Vaughn, a former MVP. You had Ray Ordonez. But you know what? I was a young guy on that team, and so you're just following. You're not leading at all, and I wasn't a name on that team at all or like a big-time prospect. You're like, it's weird that these guys don't seem to care if we win or care if we lose. It's the same feeling after each game.
Yeah.
And I was on Cleveland the year before, and we had Juan Gonzalez and Kenny Lofton and Jim Tomei. But, man, those guys stood up and they cared. If we lost, it was a big deal. Not every loss, but you could tell, we're either winning it all and we're making the playoffs first and then trying to win it all, or this is not acceptable, and I don't want you on this team. If it's acceptable to lose more than we win and to not make the playoffs is acceptable, you're not supposed to be here.
And
they made that clear.
Kind of had, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like they just were like, we don't know. We're just going to give everything we got, and it eventually the talent, the talent that wasn't on the team, it just wasn't enough to keep doing this, but. I thought the attitude and energy of that 16-4 run for the most part, Seager was there for the start of it, and then the appendicitis got him. But for the most part, I thought the energy and attitude was different. I thought you could feel it being around the team, but the talent wasn't there to maybe keep it going.
Can I ask a maybe tough question? Would that energy, do we think, have been able to thrive the same if Corey Seager was around? Corey Seager does not seem like the most energetic.
Well, Simeon wasn't around either, so
True.
I know he was here, but his standard is that he is there every day, and that's what he teaches. Is I'm here for the grind. So I also wonder how that would be affected, because those are the two guys I look at as the leaders here.
It's a fair question because then you get the talent on the field you're missing.
Yeah,
but there is. Look, whether I know you're talking to Jared Sandler later, there is a thing about this team that the veteran guys, Seager, Simeon, different guys, and it just doesn't feel like that high energy. You don't want to be too emotional because then when things go bad, things can go really bad.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there has to be a sense of this leadership of this is unacceptable, but still being positive and optimistic through the negative time.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have a negative through 162. There's going to be bad stretches. So it's a valid question. You would have had the talent, but yes, Seager is who he is. It's not going to change. He's a great player who struggles with health. When he's healthy, he's a major contributor, but I wouldn't say you're looking to him. This is the weird part. You're not looking for him to lead a team, but he's going to be a leader of a team whether he likes it or not.
I think it's interesting because Bruce Bochy managed Barry Bonds, who I don't think was a leader, but he was a great player, an individual in a clubhouse that they still missed. They didn't get ultimately with him what they wanted, but he was a great player at the time, but he was separate kind of. The manager himself, so he understands. He has lots of experience coaching different guys. We love him. We love this manager to death. He brought us a World Series. I've seen people call for his job. I hate that. It drives me nuts. This season, he sounded so sad yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
He sounded so sad. Does he want to be do you think he wants to be with this club further than this?
I actually do. I think that he's going to be the manager next year for the Rangers. Now, don't hold me to it. You said this. Things can change. I honestly don't know, but my thought is he is the manager next year. I think he wants to continue managing the Texas Rangers, but I want to make sure I'm putting I think.
I
don't
for sure.
know.
Yeah.
I think he's been frustrated with what we've just been discussing. Is he probably feels like I'm the manager. How come I couldn't figure out how to get this team to play harder, more consistent, how to score runs, how to have a better approach at the plate? And I get he's relying on hitting coaches. He's relying on analytic department. He's relying on
the players being honest.
You can't really look at Mike Bacsik. Obviously, the team did have a lot of blown saves.
Yeah.
And they didn't have a guy on the team that was a savior.
I feel like the sense is that blame goes more on Chris Young from everything we've heard.
On the offense, because you wouldn't have been in blown save situation.
No, I meant for the pitching just because they feel like we never secured a real close.
Yeah, I was in spring training with you guys. There's kind of Boch going, I don't know any of my bullpen guys. Literally, I don't know any of them. I got to figure out in 6 weeks here who they are, what they can do, and how to piece it together.
Good luck to me.
And so that was tough, but I do think that this can be a playoff contender next year and make the playoffs, but I do think it's going to be possibly a pretty different team on the field because after 23, 24 was below 500. This year is going to be right around 500.
Yeah.
And I do think that they look at this and go, we kind of need a different vibe because Eovaldi and DeGrom give the staff an identity and they help. And they're good, and you need them to stay healthy, those two guys particularly. But I think that they help out the vibe of we're going to be a good staff, and here's why. We're going to go out there and do our job, but we're also going to lead. And I think that on the offensive side / the player front, the 13 guys that are the players, that the vibe from those 13 guys needs to feel a lot different next year.
I thought last night was a really great example because DeGrom, even though they're done, he was like, no, I need to go out there and pitch. And he goes, look, I've missed a lot of time. I want to pitch when I can pitch.
And there's multiple things there. Prove it to other people, but prove it to yourself. But, Mike, you know this. You only get so many games that you get to do this job.
Yeah.
And you want to have all those experiences you can have.
DeGrom's leadership, and I know this is a little bit older story, and if you haven't heard it, great. If you have heard it, sorry, I'm repeating it. Bradford this year, when he couldn't come back and then had the surgery, he was here the next day. And they're like, why are you here? Like, the media was kind of like, well, you just had surgery, this and that. He goes, you know what? When DeGrom in 23 had his surgery, the next day he was here, and he was here as much as he possibly could be. He's like, if Jacob DeGrom, one of the greatest pitchers of my time, will be here and will be trying to help every individual pitcher as much as he can, not that he was forcing himself on him. He's like, well, DeGrom set the example for me. So whether you like it or not, when you get the 20-plus or $30-plus million a year, whether you want to be a leader or not, you become a leader. You don't even have to lead, but the young guys are going to follow.
Yeah, they're watching you at all times, just like a parent, right? Just like you're, those kids know everything that you're doing.
So from we could stick with the Rangers if you want. I had a cross the MLB question for you. If you got the vote, who is your AL MVP?
It's Cal Raleigh for me.
Being behind the plate, handling those duties, and
even with the OPS 200 points lower.
I totally get it.
I'm with you there.
He handles a pitching staff. Here's the deal. They haven't won the division since 2001. Yep. They finally did something that seemed impossible in Seattle to do.
Make the playoffs?
By me.
and me too. I thought Seattle's going to Seattle. We were in August, and I was like, they're going to figure out a way how to screw this up. The Rangers just need to take advantage of it. They didn't screw it up. Who was this led by? A dude who behind the plate won the Platinum Glove last year. He plays almost every day. Does he catch every day? No, but he catches more than anybody in baseball. He's behind that dish all of the time. He's giving you good at bats. He's a major threat. He's a switch hitter. He just beat Mickey Mantle's record for most home runs from a switch hitter ever in a park that is not a hitter's park.
Fact.
So, now I'm not trying to take anything away from Aaron Judge. The dude's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's probably going to win an MVP here and there again in his career. But at this point, I have to look at Cal Raleigh and go, he won it this year. It's not that Aaron Judge had a bad year. He had an MVP year.
If Aaron Judge had never won MVP, do you think you'd feel the same way?
That's a fair question, because at this point, do you just want to give it to Michael Jordan every year? Because really, from 1988 till 1998, nobody else should have won the MVP except the 2 years that he sat out.
Right.
It should have been Michael Jordan every year.
Right.
But I do think this. Is it fair to Aaron Judge? Maybe no, because I do look at it and go, do I just give it to Aaron Judge every year unless he misses 40 or more games?
Yeah. I think for me, it's definitely the look, man, you're a great hitter. He is the best, one of the best hitters in the game. Him and Ohtani, you can say you can choose between them. But the fact that this dude handles his defensive thing the way he does, that just levels up.
So that's your vote as well?
It is Cal Raleigh.
And his team had success. Yeah. I do think that plays it shouldn't play a major percentage, but it should play a percentage in. He took a team that never wins.
Yeah.
And they finally won.
You can give Aaron Judge the Offensive Hitter Award if that's what you want to do. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question back?
Yeah.
If there's a possibility, I do think after this 26 season, there's a possibility of there's not an American League and National League.
Right.
Who would you give the MVP to if it was like football or like basketball? I would give it to Cal Raleigh still.
I think I would too.
I would give it over Ohtani.
Shohei didn't pitch enough.
Yeah.
To take that away, to take what he does defensively away.
Yeah, and he's incredible, and I guess I might lazily lean on the spirit of the award and be like, the Dodgers have overcome some stuff. They've been really good for a long time. They'll be fine. Whereas to your point, the Mariners, this is the sixth time they've ever made the playoffs. And like you said, first time in 24 years to win the division. And Cal Raleigh could still hit 63. He hit 2 last night.
Yeah, and how many times he saved their game, late in the game, he had some big clutch hits.
He also, the pitching coach doesn't go out there a lot to the mound.
Because he's the guy?
They let Cal Raleigh control the meetings. They're like, there's no reason for me to go out there. Cal knows what he's doing.
Big Dumper knows how to do this.
It's not like the Marlins, where they're spoon-feeding their kids everything. I'm like, hey, eventually didn't mom have to stop feeding? Like Noah, is he feeding himself?
He can feed himself.
A little bit, not all the time.
No, I mean, he can feed himself, yes.
Hopefully here pretty soon you don't have to worry about you putting the food in his mouth.
We haven't done that in a while, Mike, but thank you very much. I don't know how long you think kids still get fed by their parents. Noah's 3 years old.
In Miami, it's a long time.
Yes, it is. All right, Mike, anything else we need to know? Anything else you want to say?
Gosh, wasn't it great?
When it comes to season tickets,
You're welcome.
for next year,
How can people get their season tickets?
There's always next year. Rangers.com/season tickets. I mean, I think it's going to be interesting. This team can be a 90-win team next year or better. Who's going to be on the field for the Texas Rangers? I will tell you this. I do think for sure Wyatt Langford and Evan Carter are going to be on the field. Yeah. And that there's going to be other Rangers that are back. I just don't know. I think that Chris Young has more A.J. Preller in him than John Daniels.
Big bold.
Now, I do think they're both.
Okay.
John Daniels is more, I think, risk-averse.
Yeah.
And A.J. Preller's like, we didn't win the World Series, change 17 players. I don't know if it's going to be that extreme.
Change the jerseys, hell.
A.J. Preller is the most extreme general manager I've ever seen.
I kind of like it.
And it is fun. I do think Chris Young has a little bit more A.J. Preller in him than John Daniels. So we'll see what this offseason brings. I think it'll be a very interesting Rangers offseason.
Mike, for whatever it's worth, I can't tell you how many people are on the fan text and the Twitch and the YouTube saying how happy they are you're here.
Oh, man, thanks.
I refuse to pull fan text up for Mike because he didn't want to see it.
Can we pencil you in for Peace-a-thon?
Dude.
Oh, we got an announcement coming up about it. I think you might love.
Are you guys going to be in the same building?
Nope.
New building for K&C Masterpiece.